welcome to Flavourful Eats. We have tremendous flavor today in a traditional Andhra meal. Joining me is Anuradha Chitrapu. Welcome.
Hi, thanks.
Anu is going to be our main cook and she's having a sous chef, Vidya Bharati.
Thank you.
Welcome both of you to the show, and I'm going to leave you to give me more details on what we're doing today.
Okay. I'm going to make what is considered a very traditional Andhra vegetarian meal.
Yes,
so that's why this is all going to be vegetarian. So we are going to start off. So one thing about an Andhra meal, vegetarian meal, is there are a lot of vegetables, like much more than say Tamilian meal, right? I mean the vegetables in the Andhra meal form a very, very important part of the meal.
Okay.
So we are going to start off today with Gutthi Vankayi, which stands for stuffed brinjal. Vankayi is just a Telugu name for eggplant. There are many ways to make Gutthi Vankayi. Some people, stuff it with powder, etc. What I am using today, the method I'm using, the recipe is my family recipe from my mom. And my mom sort of did a fusion where she decided to stuff it with onion masala, and that's how we used to eat it. So I'm going to make it with a onion masala stuffing.
So and we have other dishes too. You're making a pulusu, which is a stew. Yes,
the second dish will be this. It's called mukkala pulusu. Mukkalu means pieces, and pulusu is stew. The key part of that dish is you need to have as many different colored vegetables as possible. You just make them into big pieces. And you can see I have green, I have orange for carrot, and we'll go into what the different vegetables are. But pretty much whatever you have in the house, you can you can put in there. The third dish I'm going to make is a pachadi, which is like a chutney. Andhra people love to mix it in rice with ghee, so no meal is complete without a pachadi. Yes. So we are going to have a pachadi. And finally, the dosakkai pappu. Dosakkai means cucumber and pappu is dal. So that forms the lentil based dish. So there's a vegetable dish, there's a lentil dish, there is a spicy leafy chutney dish, and then there is a stuffed vegetable.
And to round it up, you have a nice yogurt rice.
We will do that in the end because no meal is complete without the yogurt rice.
Yep, that's correct. So with that, we'll start. Gutthi Vankayi?
Okay, so we're going to get started on the Gutthi Vankayi. The right way to cut the Gutthi Vankayi is to make two cuts, one horizontally here, and I'm just going to step back here and grab a knife. Be careful when you do this.
Use a board.
Yeah, use a board. So
cutting board.
There is like a horizontal cut, and then turn it around, and there's another horizontal cut. So it's like you're putting a cross into here. Right. Yeah, and that's what we're going to put the stuffing into. Right. For stuffing, like I said, we are going to use onion stuffing. What I've done is I've cut this and put it in the blender to make it into a little paste. And this is the paste that we're going to use here. But before we do that, onion has a very pungent smell, taste, etc. So you don't want it to be just that. So what we normally do in my house is any sort of powder that you have at home, like I use sambar powder, which we use for sambar, and I'm going to use like maybe, this is a 1 teaspoon, so 2.
Okay, so 2 teaspoons, you're going to be making like 6, 2, 4, 6, 7?
Yes,
7,
correct.
7, okay.
Yeah. So 2 teaspoons, let me put that
so
back
any
there.
kind of spicy kind of masala can be used.
Any spicy masala. And in fact, if you don't have anything at home, you can even just use red chili powder.
Or anything. If somebody, whatever spice, if you're an Italian, you want to put Italian spices, you're good to go too.
Okay, Italian spice.
But it won't make it an Andhra meal.
Correct. If you want to have an Italian chutney, yes. But yeah, I think the key thing is you have to use something that will neutralize the pungent onion taste, but at the same time it shouldn't be such a strong flavor that the onion masala completely goes off. You also need a little bit of that. All right.
Oh, that's a good tip to have.
So yeah, so I'm going to ask Vidya to put this away for now, and just mix this. Now when we put this in the blender, we did not add any water at all. That's because onion is naturally very filled with water. So if you add too much water, just in case when you're making this, if you happen to add too much water, I would say try to boil away the water before you use, because otherwise oil is going to splutter and it's just going to take a very...
And you'll remove some of the raw taste also if somebody doesn't want that raw taste. I mean, but in your cooking process, it's all going to be removed anyway.
Yes, it will be removed. Yes. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt now. I usually say, you know, salt to taste. So I'm not going to measure it. But one thing to remember is this stuffing is going to go like in there. So you need to add enough salt to sort of bring it out.
Right. But also you must remember, if some people put salt in their spices, take that into consideration too.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm assuming yours got no salt.
No salt. Right. Yeah. I mean, literally these we just washed and cut, and the sambar powder has no salt. And
in the olden days, we were told that when you cut up eggplants, always put them in salted water. And the only reason that used to be is to remove the bitterness from the eggplant. But I notice now the eggplants is not as bitter as it used to be when we were growing up. I don't know whether the variety changed or, but again, if somebody wants to remove the bitterness, go ahead, rinse it, wash it out with salt water, and really, you know, squeeze it well. Salt is always good to remove impurities anyway.
Of course, yes. Okay, so this is the way you stuff it. You can use a spoon. Hands are clean, you can use your hands, but spoon is better because you can actually push it in. Hands, unless you have really slim hands, the fingers are not going to go in. So yeah, so this is what you do. We just turned it on, and I'm going to wait for it to get slightly hot before I add it, and for now I'm going to store these here. So I'll show you one more, and then Vidya will stuff the rest when we move on to the next dish. So open it up a little bit so that you have enough space to push in the masala.
So Vidya is a cook in training.
Yes,
a student currently. So you see that the flavors are going to go so nicely in it because she's opening it out and filling it in. And it adds a little bit more nutrition, and now for the winter months this is perfect because, you know, onions is very good to for the cold, to help you remove bacteria and all the good stuff. So and eggplant, well, it's a nightshade vegetable like most people know, but still it's the king of in our world, right? Eggplant, vegetarian world.
So I'm going to give you this, and you can stuff these.
Yes.
If you want to do it there.
Yes.
All right.
So now on to our next dish.
Okay, so while that is happening and the oil is getting wet, I'm going to start on the mukkala pulusu.
If you put it, it'll go off.
This is the stew that we talked about.
So we're going to point out all the vegetables.
Yeah, let me show you all the vegetables. So I've used, this is called drumsticks, not to be confused with chicken drumsticks. These are, I think it's a tropical vegetable.
Yes, it is.
So you get it in the Indian store.
Florida plants it, St. Croix has it.
Okay. Carrots, of course, everyone knows carrots. And this vegetable,
I'm just going to bring this whole box over for you to see.
So we will show you what these vegetables look like before we started processing them. So this one, bottle gourd, is this. I'm using only half of it just because there are so many vegetables. And like I said, you know, this is almost kind of like a, if you have vegetables left, that's not enough to feed the whole family a vegetable. You can just take that, add little bits of everything.
It's a good way of using leftover
finishing
vegetables.
Up all your vegetables.
Uncooked vegetables.
So that is this. We saw the carrot. This is a radish.
Daikon.
Okay. And I've cut them into small pieces.
You're welcome to say the Telugu word, so those of Telugu followers would know what to ask for.
Yeah, I mean, this is known as mulli. So, and then I cut one of the sweet potato, which is here.
This is a Japanese variety, but you could use just about anyone.
You can use any, you can even use yam. So the one thing I want to say about this is this, a lot of people like the pulusu to be sweet. And so that's why they add like sweet potato or yam and even jaggery.
Yes, no need for jaggery.
We are not going to add jaggery, So and that's why I'm using
carrots is also sweet.
Yeah, and also, you know, it's your personal choice. I don't like jaggery, so.
And daikon is something that's pungent and peppery. So you basically balancing the flavors of all tastes. And which in Ayurvedic food, they tell you to try and have all tastes. I know in general, we should be trying all tastes.
And this, we call it chow chow. It's a squash kind of
Bengali Vankayi.
Yeah. And this particular one, actually my friend grew in her garden. So,
very nice.
I brought it from her house. So
it's a coyote in here.
Yeah, coyote squash.
Coyote squash, right.
So that's
not to be mixed with the animal.
Oh no, this is a vegetarian show, remember. All right.
Yes.
So these are the vegetables. The first thing to do is to boil these vegetables. And what I'm going to do is, Instant Pot is everyone's savior. It cooks really fast. So I'm going to boil all of these in the Instant Pot.
This is hot, by the way.
Okay, that is hot.
And we have...
And the rest of it is all ready.
Ready to go.
So I'm going to put it in here. Now one thing I forgot to tell you is it's better to choose small brinjals.
Yes.
Like this is the ideal size, not those.
Yes.
Just because it cooks faster.
And you get to take what you get here, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, but when I went to the grocery store,
that's what was
that
available.
is what I got.
So we close it up or no?
Yeah, let's actually just let it cook a bit.
Is that temperature okay for you, or you want it a little lower?
No, temperature is fine.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to, while that's cooking, what setting is it in? It's in half.
Medium high.
That's fine. So let's move on to the pulusu. I'm going to use the Instant Pot for this.
You need water.
Yes,
There's water right here.
Not yet. So first I'm going to start with some oil.
You're doing on manual setting.
Yes.
The good thing about the Instant Pot is you can do manual setting and you can get started there. But if you don't have one, don't despair, because you could always use your pressure cooker.
Yeah.
That you will have to cook on the stove and then transfer.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. So
Okay,
just
so
put it on manual cooking.
Actually not manual,
saute.
I've done saute now. I'm going to add some oil, just enough to, it's about 1.5 teaspoons.
Okay.
And of course, no Indian kitchen is complete without a spice box.
Right.
So here is my spice box, and for the pulusu.
You want to show what spices you're using? Point
Yes,
out.
I will show you what I'm using. You can use a spoon. So we'll start with mustard.
And the oil is hot, add the mustard.
Yep, I put it on saute. So, and then we use a little bit of jeera.
Cumin seeds.
Cumin seeds. And then urad dal.
Right, black gram.
And then
right, the whole one. Okay.
Chana dal. And then I'm going to, this is the one thing that Andhra cooking uses a lot, which is red chilies.
Andhra cooking is noted for nice heat.
Yes.
Now coming from chilies, not from the temperature.
Now there are many different types of. Let's just get this. All right, that's pretty fine. There are many different types of red chilies. I just buy the Kashmiri red chili. Some put.
Yes, they
break
are very
it into
red.
two and put it in there. And a little bit of asafoetida, hing. There you go. I'm going to wait for all that to splutter, and then we're going to add it. So meanwhile, always a good idea to give the vegetables a final wash. So with their, if you can wash them all together.
Yeah,
all right,
you've taken care of that.
We did once, but I know.
Do you want the spoon?
I'm going to actually use the tongs.
Oh, there you go. The stove's gone off, you know that, right?
Oh
no, it's not gone off. You're right. Okay. Oh, the smell is amazing. It's amazing. It's just onion and the spice and how, it just gives such a different smell to the whole thing and a different character to it too.
And notice how it's already gotten cooked. You think that it's going to take a long time, but see, the color has already changed. That's actually the clue. It should all become that color.
Right.
The brownish.
The brownish.
From violet, it should turn to brown.
Right.
So I'm going to turn this. All right. The best way to cook it, if you have patience, is to actually put it on slow.
Yes.
Cover it and just forget about it.
Yes.
For a while.
Yes. So it really draws out all the spice and the taste and everything with that. So is that sputtering for you there?
That's still happening. Let it happen.
You're adding some curry leaves.
A little bit of curry leaves. The color has not changed yet. Now, add the curry leaves after the color has changed, because otherwise it will actually stop the cooking.
Yes,
it kind of
cools it
down. Cools it down. So let that.
So do you want to do the dal in the meantime?
Okay, now let's move, while that's happening, let's move to the dosakkai pappu. So I wanted to show how dosakkai looks. It's a round cucumber.
1 second, we'll give her some space.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So
yes,
it's a round cucumber, as you can see here. Yeah, Hamsha and I were having this debate whether it's a melon or a cucumber. Now when you cut this, Vidya, can you bring me the cut cucumber? Yeah.
So yes, this is what it looks like, and it's both the skin and the inside is normally edible, but you were saying in this country it's like, seems to be, this particular variety.
This particular one, yeah, I don't know if it's this country, but one thing I noticed is in India, right, the skin is like thinner, you can just boil it and eat it, but here I don't actually like the thing. So
can you put on top of that?
So we,
this on top
yes. So we remove the skin and then we cut it. Now you will notice the seeds in here, just like any cucumber.
Or melon.
Or melon. It's up to you if you want to. If you want to take out the seeds, you know, just take it out. But honestly, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
And I really don't mind.
So then put it in.
Eating the seeds.
So this actually add more value, nutritional value.
Yes, yes. So what I'm going to do is, there are two ways to cook this. I mean, if you want to do this separate and dal separate and then do it, but I'm going to actually cook them all together. Yes, so before we do that, let's put the dal here, which I've measured. So it's
half a cup.
Half a cup of moong dal for this amount, which is one small round cucumber. So I'm going to add this here. And Vidya, if you can just give this a wash.
Yes.
And then bring it
back.
So
if I have to estimate, it's about 1 1/4 cup of chopped up dosakkai.
Yeah, so this is about half a cup, so I would say 1.
Okay.
So let's quickly check on what's happening with our eggplant. Eggplant is looking good. Okay.
I
have the dal here for you.
So this is split moong.
Yes, split moong.
When it's whole, it looks green. When the color skin is out, it's yellow.
Yeah.
It's a very good anti-inflammatory dal to use.
Anti-inflammatory? Okay. Alright, so that one is looking good.
This is on.
Yes, so now I'm going to add
2 cups. 2 cups.
2 cups, yeah, we can add all the 2 cups of water. I'm going to give it a quick mix. What I do is I wait for it to cook in this and then add the next cup. But you know, I have heard from many people that it's better to add all the water in the beginning because when you're adding more, you're kind of cooling it. So unless you heat water separately and add it. So let's just add half a cup. Okay, I'm just going to add half.
So that makes 1 cup. All right, you added half a cup now.
Yeah, that's it.
Just 1 cup. So you added now 3 cups of water to half a cup of moong dal, or split moong.
Yep. And in the meantime, this is hot. Excellent. This is ready.
Hot.
Yeah. So now I'm going to, let's put this away.
Yes, let's put that away.
And let's take this. I'm going to add the pieces.
I can take care of that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You put basically about a cup or half a cup of each vegetable there.
Get this out. Yeah. You can add it back. All right. So this is looking great, but I still wanted to cook a little more.
Is the temperature too high, you think?
Yeah, let's lower it a bit.
I think so. To number 5 maybe. That's medium.
Yeah. Or even low is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good to go. All right. So now our pulusu is going to be cooking here. I'm going to add some water. So Hamsha, I'm going to use this.
Okay.
This is 1 cup. So let's do 1 cup. And Vidya, if you can bring me another 2 cups to fill here.
There's another 2 cups.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so there's 3 cups of water in here, vegetables. And now I'm going to add tamarind. You could use fresh tamarind. I brought tamarind paste. So I'm going to take 1 teaspoon.
There's different varieties, so you're using the Lakshmi brand.
I'm using Lakshmi brand. I'm going to add like a little more just because, you know, we have quite a lot of vegetables here today. So that is 2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons
totally.
of 2 teaspoons of
tamarind
extract.
So that is almost done, but let's get back to our pulusu. The tamarind water. Yeah, I used tamarind paste.
2 teaspoons of
and
tamarind
added
paste.
3 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of this, all the vegetables in here, the seasoning was already there. You could add salt right now or do it in the end. I actually like to add it because then you can move on and do other stuff and you don't have to
And also this, the vegetables will absorb the flavor very well too.
Ah, okay. So here I'm going to use this half teaspoon.
Salt to taste.
Salt is always to taste, yeah. I always find after it's done, I add a little more, so I tend to add less. And if you have turmeric, you can always add turmeric. It's always a good thing. So my powder, the Sambar powder actually has turmeric, so yes. I'm just going to use half a teaspoon of that.
Oh, you added 2 teaspoons, 2 chilies already, right?
I added 2 red chilies.
Right, so that's, it's already chili enough.
Again, you know, this is up to you.
Yes.
Like some people like the sweet, sour, bitter, all spicy taste. So, and I'm going to add some curry leaves now to this. Just break it into half.
This is what moong dal does. It does froth.
Yeah.
It's normal.
All right, so I'm going to let these vegetables cook by changing it now to manual, and I use manual 10.
10 minutes on high?
Yeah.
High pressure.
High pressure.
So what is using basically 10-minute pressure cooker? With
Correct.
pressure cooking it in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes.
All right, so now let's get this going.
So within 10 minutes that's basically ready.
Turn the pressure on.
Yes,
by
make sure the
vent.
vent is closed.
Yeah, and it's on.
Right.
So
Those are the little things we're going to take care of.
yeah. Oh, watch this again.
So our thing is not working very well too.
No, I think so. Here, I think
We
you should
leave it
use
over
a
the-
steel,
Steel one?
stainless steel one. Yeah,
Oh dear, it's too small.
that's okay. Okay, now the dal is kind of half cooked here. Just to look at it. So I'm going to add the dosakkai to it right now. Can you bring me the dosakkai?
Yes.
What that does is the remaining half of the cooking will cook with the dosakkai, which is always a good thing because you're
So
using
just
the
to
same.
show that this is how you find that it's half cooked. You can see it's a little bit translucent,
Yep.
not quite, but yes. Not as dense as it was
Correct.
before. Yes.
Yeah. So let's add this. I'm going to leave these seeds out.
Yeah.
Just in case some people don't like seeds. Okay, so these two are together. Let's add some salt.
It's okay to add salt now because the dal is a bit cooked.
Yeah.
Normally the lentils
Yeah, you don't add dal.
salt.
Yeah, to dal you shouldn't add the salt before. It prolongs the cooking time. So again, salt to taste. Give it a good mix. All right, so let that keep going. Let's go back to our Vankayi.
You want to put your stainless steel spoon here and put a lid on?
No, you can try. Half a lid is enough. You don't need the full lid. That will cook pretty fast. Oh, okay. This one is pretty much done. Yep.
And it smells amazing.
Smells good?
Yes.
Really good.
Right. Okay. So here is one trick that I like to do. Where's the remaining paste?
The paste is right here.
Obviously, we don't want to waste anything. So you can take this paste, just put it over to give it a slightly additional flavor. We'll use up all.
Say in this short space of time we've done 3 things.
Yeah. All right, so now we've used that up. I'm going to lower the temperature a little more now. There you go. Yep. Now Hamsha's actually set it to 1 point and it's very, very low.
It's low.
Yeah. And this part we are literally just you know, letting the onion paste that I just added
to cook.
To cook. That's it. So keep turning it so it's evenly distributed. And this is a very personal taste, but I actually like the little burnt part of it. I know some people don't like it, but whatever your personal choice.
So if somebody likes barbecue, then you're going to be loving this.
Okay, so I'm going to cover it up. It's on low. We don't need to watch that anymore. So now let's move on to our gongur pachadi. Okay, so for gongur pachadi, I want to show you
so
what
gongura is actually sour.
There,
yeah.
Here
So it's sour herbs.
Yeah, it's called sorrel leaves.
In English, it's sorrel leaves.
Yeah, we call it gongura in Telugu.
So it's basically like that.
Yeah, that's the full leaf.
That's a full leaf.
So it comes on a stalk. So I de-stalked it, got the leaves, washed it. Now one thing is, if you want this to last for like say 2-3 weeks, if you want to keep it in the fridge and use it, you have to be sure that it's absolutely dry.
Yes.
This amount of water is not going to preserve it. Yeah.
Yes.
Today, since I'm making a small amount and we're going to consume it within like a day or so, I didn't dry it. But there are people who actually lay it out on a paper towel in the night and let it go
this is before
all
cooking.
Night. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to completely dry.
Yes,
Okay, so this is what it looks.
Yes, and even when you're keeping those things long, you always don't even use a wet spoon. You got to use everything dry.
You don't want to wet it. Correct.
Yes.
All right.
For it to last.
So I'm going to take another pan now. We can actually move this. I think this is, this is done. So I'm going to take this out.
So you can leave it on this pan for now.
Right. And let's use this. Can take
I'll
this
take
away.
this for you. Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is get the gongura level, but let me ready. First, let me show you the ingredients. We're going to use gongura leaves,
sorrel leaves,
sorrel leaves,
or sour herbs.
Sour herbs.
It's sour.
Okay. And garlic. And I'm also going to use.
So, but how many garlic you use? It like looks like a 6, 7, 8.
I took like a handful.
A whole ball of it, the whole.
Yeah, this was one big one, so I just opened the whole one, and I'm going to use 1 onion.
Right.
So that is all you need from a ingredients perspective, apart from the spices, which we'll talk about again.
Right.
You might want to grind this. Some people just chop it really fine and, you know, because like the chunkiness of it.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is, Vidya, I'm going to ask you to grind this on pulse so that it's kind of little thick and chunky.
So you want it finely chopped, sort of, not like the way we use for the Gutthi Vankayi.
Yeah, not that much, but I don't want it fully chopped. I just want it to be like slightly mushy, not fully mushy. So you can use the
this
long
one,
or that one to grind. Okay.
Yeah.
So just the onion, not the garlic or the
no,
just
those we don't grind. So before that, let me just show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to add some oil.
Yeah.
I hold this. You can take the garlic. I mean the onion.
Yeah.
Great.
Now this is a dish where you actually use a lot of oil, just because you want to preserve this for a while.
Okay.
I mean, I always make small
really speaking, this is not that much of oil.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not using a lot of oil just because this is a small quantity. Actually, when you put it, you'll see that it shrinks, so you don't care about it. But if you want to...
So this is about 2 cups of chopped...
2 cups of chopped, I guess 2 cups. So if you want to preserve it though, make sure of 2 things. One, that you're drying this.
Absolutely dry.
And you're using like about double that amount of oil just to preserve it. So I'm going to add spices to it. So we'll start with a little spice spoon here.
So quarter teaspoon?
I'm using, this is a half spoon, yeah, half of that. Again, urad dal. Almost the same thing for cumin. I'll just put it separately so you can see what it looks like. Now, a lot of people take methi and fry it and grind it. I don't like the taste of ground methi in this, so I'm not adding it. And of course,
what about
like
whole
I said,
methi? Do you like whole methi?
Yeah, no, I don't mind the methi, but like if it becomes very strong,
sort of bitter.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to use my red chilies. So let's put 2 here.
I know my mother would have put even more than that just for the.
Yeah, it's a matter of taste. And
we have this growing in our garden, abundance. It's so nice.
Hing again.
Yes. And there's a little fruit that comes out of it. It's red in color, which you make jam out of.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right, let that cook. Hamsha, if you don't mind holding this for a little bit more.
This dal is cooking.
Yep.
Just about done.
We just need to watch it's not sticking and there's enough water.
Right. I'm going to pulse the onions now.
All right.
Yeah. Turned it. Yeah. It's on.
Try and blend.
You want it fine enough?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That's good enough?
That's good, yeah.
You may want to cut the onion and do it once more.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
now
you're going to be frying the onion first?
I'm going to add the garlic and then I'll add garlic. So there's the garlic.
And the good thing of cutting the garlic, you get the full nutritional value of it too. It releases its nutrition. Yes, it's good to cut the garlic always.
Okay.
Oh, in this case, it probably will cook.
I just half.
It's a whole ball of garlic.
Yeah, that's good. Let's give this a quick mix. It's cooking.
And I have onions finely chopped here.
Let's add it here.
Perfect.
Okay, the garlic has browned nicely.
I'm just going to take this off.
Go ahead, add it in.
Is that fine?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
So again,
can you get the smell of
the garlic? And
that is very pungent.
Yeah. But yes, together with the onion. But what I was just going to say, the thing is, this is sour and that's a bit sweet, so you're getting it both tastes here again.
They will mix.
Yes. You are very sensitive to onions.
But you know, unless my eyes water, I feel like the onion is not strong enough. So
oh my word!
So we are yours too.
I am sensitive too.
Yeah.
So I thought I was, but I guess I'm not as much as you. That too.
I guess glasses helps. So that's one thing about Indian cooking in general, not just Andhra, right? You want it to be like a blend of a lot of tastes. Like when you bite into the garlic, you'll get a particular taste. Otherwise, you'll taste the sorrel and the onions predominantly. All right, let's add the sorrel in. Now again, like I said, some people like to grind it, but you can just chop it really fine, that's enough. Because it's all going to become small anyway.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sure.
That's the best sous chef to have.
Yes, she is the best sous chef.
I'm honored.
You know, Anu is no stranger to the New England area, and I'm sure Chennai too, with all these beautiful projects of volunteer art. Of course, she's a working mother too, of 2 lovely children, mother of 2 lovely children. But you have some very good projects going around. You want to say us something about it while you're doing your lovely cooking?
Yeah, sure. So, the key non-profits I'm involved with here, one is of course Saheli, which is against domestic violence. And another is AIF, America India Foundation. So I do volunteer for both of those. But my sisters and I, we have started a project.
Which your mother
which my mother, it was my mother's idea, and unfortunately we got into it only after she passed away. Actually, just before, because she made the first few products, and then we made it into a non-profit only later.
Oh, it's now become,
so
that's nice.
Yeah, we don't have non-profit status yet, but it's we have an online store. Yeah. So what we do is, my mother was always about recycling. Her big thing was recycling, and she always told us that this modern generation wastes too much. Like, why do you need so many clothes? Why do you need so many things in the house? Blah 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 blah. So when the Chennai floods happened in 2014, a lot of people lost very good, like handmade patti sarees,
handloom sarees, yes,
silk. And she felt very bad. In fact, some of my relatives themselves lost their clothing. So she said, can we do something with the borders or the pieces of the sari that are still okay?
That did not get affected with the flood water.
Correct. So we washed it, and then she actually made the first few small jewelry pouches. And then I brought them here, and suddenly one day someone out of the blue said, I'm looking for jewelry pouches that are handmade and recycled. So I showed it to her, and this one woman bought the entire supply I had, 150 bags. Wow. Because she's a jewelry maker and she believes in sustainability.
Right.
So that's how it started. Now we take old fabric and we make all sorts of things with it, bags, etc. We have a website. It's called Nirvana, Nyrvaana.
Yes, no, it's a.
Can you get the smell now?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's a test. If you're not getting that strong smell, maybe some ingredient is missing.
Right, that's true. I can even smell salt. The salt is right. I don't think you put salt there. Did you?
No, not yet.
Salt. Yeah, we didn't add salt. Salt actually brings out the flavor.
Salt and sugar is something that I can actually smell if it's.
So.
But now that I said it loud, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do it in future. Yes, I don't taste while cooking. I think generally Indian mothers don't taste while cooking, right? I mean, the older generation.
I'm still getting there.
I do.
But you've been so many steps now, you haven't tasted anything
Not yet.
You probably taste in the end.
Yeah.
Which most people do anyway.
Mostly for the salt.
Yes.
That's kind of
yes. This looks like it's just about done.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to add. I added 2 green chilies to this, but just by the smell, like it's really pungent. I want to add a little bit of chili powder.
I didn't see green chili. I did see dry chili.
Yeah, I didn't put green chili.
Yes,
you can add green chilies.
Yeah,
but
no, you said you mentioned green chili, so I just
no green chili, red chili,
dry chili.
So I'm going to use just half
a pinch.
A pinch.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe a little more.
So quarter teaspoon.
There you go. Quarter teaspoon. Okay. Give this a nice mix. So at this stage, some people just take it, give it a grind. You can do that if you want, but I don't think it's necessary. It's like the right consistency for you to mix in rice. So I think this is good enough.
I would check if the garlic is soft, and I know my gonkura is good.
It's breaking, but maybe a little more.
Like 2 minutes maybe?
So So let's leave this here and put a lid.
You want to bring a lid?
Yeah, let's do that and put a lid. This one has 1 more minute.
Okay. So now you just left with your The POPU for
yes.
this one.
So this one, okay.
POPU seasoning.
POPU seasoning. This has become nice and soft. See? Now what I do is I test the dosakkai, and you can test it with a spoon and just make sure that it's breaking, which it is. So you know that it's fully cooked. Alright, so now we are going to do the seasoning for this, and really in Andhra cooking, for the pappus especially, seasoning is everything.
Oh yes, that's what brings
That is
all
the
the
key.
flavor.
So let's use, I'm going to use a small pot here. Let's move this. Yeah, that should be.
Leave it there, will you?
I want to move this here.
Oh, you want to use that plant, okay. Something went off.
That's the pulusu has been
so
cooked.
that's already done.
Let it, it's on low.
We just have to wait for the pressure to release, and then it's good to go.
So let's put a little bit of oil here. All right.
Yeah.
And
Yes, like a teaspoon of oil is more than enough actually.
again, you know, the same, oops, this is off, right?
No, it's not off, I'll just put it low.
Okay, yeah, make it low. All right, so let the oil get hot, and by now you know the seasoning is the same. You can use different kinds of seasonings, like some people put the methi powder as a special seasoning, or if you have sesame seeds, you can actually grind that and put it.
Coriander powder.
Nuvula podi, yeah.
Yes, nuvula podi is sesame seeds.
Right, sesame seeds, and then
that will give you a nice nutty flavor.
Yeah, and then
and adds calcium, and for people that lacking calcium, actually the dosakkai also has lots of calcium.
Really?
So,
okay.
But sesame seeds, high protein and calcium.
I see.
Yes.
So I guess all our cooking does have.
Oh, it has everything.
There, right?
I mean, it has protein. Did you know dosakkai has got like 2 grams of protein in the one dosakkai?
Wow.
Because everybody says, "Where's your protein? Where's your protein?"
Yeah,
it's right there.
Okay, so today we all get a lot of protein.
Yes, we do.
There is another kind of spice, sauce, which is made of mustard. So you grind the mustard, and you know how pungent that is.
Yes.
And when you make the curries, right, you actually use that to bring the taste out.
Right.
That it's a different kind of taste. So one day you can use that. One day
It's like the way the Western society uses mustard sauce.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if you can use mustard sauce and do it.
Well, depending what it has. If it's just plain mustard sauce, you probably can.
So again, same thing. Mustard. I'm just going to put it side by side so you can see what the different ones are. Cumin, urad dal. So this chana dal is something that I think is special to Andhra.
You think?
Because I haven't seen other people use that.
Yes, it's generally just 3 here: urad, cumin, and mustard seeds. You find South Indian cooking quite often.
And I don't know if it's my family or.
No, I use quite a bit of chana dal too.
Okay, so we are again going to use red chilies, and we are going to put a little bit of hing on the side, and then I'm going to put the
curry leaves.
Yes, but not yet.
Okay.
So let this thing cook. We'll do the curry leaves, and then this will be ready. So at this point, I think everything is ready.
Except your rice. I mean, your rice is cooked.
Rice, yep. So for rice, we cooked the rice.
Yes, I put 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Just put it on for 20 minutes and boil it, and we had a good rice. So you confirmed that it was good rice.
Yeah, the rice was nice and soft, which is what you need because you're going to mix all of these in the rice.
Right. So while we're waiting for this, let me read a little bit about the nutritional value of this. So one of the good things I found out that what dosakkai does and cilantro does the same thing, helps you detox.
Okay.
You know, the cilantro I know definitely removes metals. You know, people have metal.
Oh.
Yes. So it has some eliminating toxic compounds that's helpful for the gut. You know, everybody wants to go for probiotics and all that. So, you know, it's good to know that this one also has it. So it's, you know, suited, as I said earlier on, suited for both raw and cooked. You can eat it raw or you can use it in cooking.
Yeah.
And it's most prevalent in Andhra cooking. It's available everywhere, yes. It's available everywhere, but it's...
yeah, you're right, because I haven't seen that in like Tamilian cooking. I don't think they use that.
Not much, yeah.
All right.
And then the other thing we used on the other one was daikon, which is also has a good enzyme that helps with digestion.
Okay.
And you know, it's very high in potassium, fiber, calcium, vitamin C, vitamin B6. So these things are all high in magnesium, potassium, even that one. It's like amazing.
Now I feel really good about the meal we are eating.
Yes, and you know, it's amazing that our forefathers had known about all of this.
Yeah.
We are now doing research about what's available, but they just by instinct cooked these meals and served it to us.
I wish they had told us this you have to eat because of this. Maybe we lost it because they didn't tell us, right?
The thing is, I don't think they'd known. They just knew that, you know, my father used it, so I'm using it, and we're doing the same thing, right? My mother used it, so I'm using it.
Somebody knew.
Somebody, absolutely somebody knew, and that is why they introduced it to us. But that was abundant in that space also.
Yeah. And growing local.
Yeah. Local, you know, now we're learning eat local.
Yeah.
Eat local, eat what's in season. And the funny thing is these things are in season now, which is now, you know, it's like a winter vegetable, which is good to know too. Will you say that the dosakkai is a little bit tart, semi-tart?
Yeah, it has a slightly sour taste. This will blend nicely with that sour taste. A little bit of hot. I'm going to move the dosakkai back here on the stove, and now we are ready to add the seasoning. It's called POPU. Tadka. That's POPU is the word for tadka.
And my other side of the family has another name for it. It's not coming to right now to my mind.
Okay, and see how the color has come out now.
And if you want to put turmeric in there, you can.
At this stage, actually, you should put turmeric.
And so if you want to put some ginger, you can, to add in digestion.
Yeah, now ginger, I don't know if the taste will clash, or I'm not sure. Yeah, but you can try. I mean,
yes, but this is not the typical style.
Yeah, this is the typical style. I mean, normally we don't add ginger, but okay. So I'm going to let it cook a little now that the spices are in there, so that they all gel together. Right. And I guess the last thing we have to do is get some seasoning ready for the yogurt rice.
Wherever you want it to go.
Put it here, but meanwhile, let me also take a look at what's happening to our gongora.
Oh, I think that's definitely ready now.
Gongora has become nice and soft.
It's ready.
And now you can smell.
Yes.
You get the smell, right? Okay. Pretty much the same POPU for this, but for this one, you actually add just a subset of the things. You don't need everything. So I'm going to add mustard and urad dal, and then that's it. This one you don't put jeera or anything. Just.
Can you add curry leaves to this?
Absolutely, we should add curry leaves. That's like a very key.
That makes the taste really good.
And I think we have dry ginger powder
here.
Yeah,
we're going to put dried ginger powder.
Would you need asafoetida?
Did I get any more red chilies here? Okay, that's fine. If you have red chilies, you can add or green chilies or coriander leaves. I like to add fresh curry leaves. So that's what we are going to use. Right, I think we can add the hing.
Yes.
Would you want to try some chili flakes?
Yeah, we can try chili flakes. Thank you.
This is our cooked rice. You're not going to use this much, right? So
no,
take some in a little bowl?
Yes.
Yes.
You want to bring one?
Yes.
Square or round?
It's square.
I guess
either is square. Fine. Yeah. Right, I'm going to add the curry leaves.
Give it a quick rinse.
All right, now this is ready. So let's turn this off.
So now everything can be turned off, right?
Yeah, let me see how.
I can get the rice bowl for you.
So just put this one here.
That's enough.
Okay,
I'm just
so
making
that's
a
like
little.
half a cup of.
That's enough. That's enough.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. I'm trying to get it approximate quantities for you.
Okay,
so
I'm going to
like
take out a little bit because we don't have too much POPU here, so you can take out that big chunk. One more. Yep. All right. So the important thing about yogurt rice is it needs to be really soft. So what I do is I just kind of give it a nice little mash here. Okay, and then this is a trick that my mother used to do. Is in India, it becomes sour very fast because of the heat. So my mom would always actually mix it with milk first. So take some milk, pour it in here. That's good.
That's about quarter cup of milk, you would say?
I would say you should put it so that you actually see.
Milk.
Yeah, see the milk.
Is our camera getting that?
All right. So again, you know, it has to be soft.
It's like mixing your cereal in the morning.
Yeah, it has to be really soft. Don't be afraid to use your hands. You are going to eat it as long as your hands are clean. And then I'm going to add the yogurt. You can add, if you don't mind the calories, you can actually add cream. You can use light cream. What the cream does is it actually gives it a nice texture in addition to the taste. A little bit of creamy texture makes it.
I have
really
news for you though.
Yeah, it's bad.
Full fat is better than low fat.
Okay.
It's better absorbed.
Even better. Okay.
Yes,
and then this secret ingredient that we use in my house is just before put the POPU, add ginger. I would say, oh, here is a spoon. So this is a 1/4 spoon. I'm just going to use 1/4. That's it. Don't use too much. It's ginger.
Ginger powder.
Yeah, ginger powder. So and you can use ginger pieces also if you like.
Or ground ginger. Use a finely grated ginger.
Yeah, or grated ginger. Yeah. I just use powder because you know people don't like that when they bite into ginger sometimes. So
you can see this is homemade, so we don't have the right
homemade yogurt. Yeah.
Homemade yogurt.
All right. So let me take a little bit of this rice. Just get all of this out.
Yes.
All right. There you go. So there's your yogurt rice.
Okay, that's very yummy and good. So
And
we'll
I'm going to add a little bit of salt.
Oh yes, we forgot about the salt.
Oh, 1/4 spoon is good. I mean, since we added milk, you don't need much salt. Let's give it a good mix here. All right, so pulusu is ready, as you can see. All colors, and it looks really nice. Now, if you notice, it looks very watery.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and you know, some people like it watery, but when you mix it with rice, you want it to have a little bit of more texture. So the way to do that is to take some rice flour. I'm going to use this dish here.
Want to give a spoon from that?
And I'm going to use a measuring spoon actually.
Oh, you
this
have
one.
it?
Yeah.
This is good?
Yeah, that's good. How much
That's
is
a tablespoon.
That's a tablespoon.
1 tablespoon is good. So let's take a tablespoon. Oops. That's
okay,
enough.
heaping tablespoon, so like 20 mils of rice flour.
Yeah, 1 tablespoon is
take
enough.
that
That
for
is
you.
a little. So
So do you add some water to that?
yes, and then what I'm going to do is add some water.
So you're basically making a starch.
Yep, a little more.
Yeah.
You can
So
add.
if one doesn't have rice flour, you think
That's
you can
enough.
use arrowroot or one of those?
I'm
Or
sure
corn
you
flour?
can. You can probably even use, yeah, corn flour. Corn flour was what I was supposed to do.
Shall I give you a spoon?
So if you have a clean spoon, what I'm going to do is mix this up. Yeah, that's good. Thanks. So let's mix it up, make it into a paste. It's very important to make this into a paste before
You don't want
you
it to
add
be lumpy.
it. Yeah, because otherwise it's going to become lumpy. Here we go.
It's all right, we'll clean up.
Yep. Okay, so now it's nice and smooth. Just make sure there's no lumps at all. All right.
Yes,
there
you can see it's nice and smooth.
Yeah, nice and smooth paste, and I'm going to add this to this. There you go.
So you cook it on manual again, or you
I'm just putting it on saute. That's enough. We'll just leave it there for a few minutes.
Oh, while we take care of this?
While we clean this up, and it's actually very, very fast. It'll start thickening very fast.
Thank you, Anu, for this lovely Andhra meal. You want to show us how you serve quickly on a plate?
Yeah.
So this is what the whole thing looked like. It's absolutely beautiful. So we tend to eat with rice.
Yeah. So as a principle, you never serve rice first. Okay.
Correct.
So we're going to start with the vegetables. Just pick it up with the stock. That's why we have the stock. That's the first thing on the plate. I'm going to serve some gongur pachadi.
Oh, sour herbs?
Sour herbs, sorrel, you know, to mix it in the rice. Depending on how much rice, you can put that amount.
You can serve yourself too.
Yeah, sure. And then a little bit of dosakkai pappu. Let's get dosakkai pappu.
So if you really want to go traditional, we do it in a banana leaf.
Yes.
In the very olden days.
If we had that.
And the banana leaf gets a nice flavor also. It adds to the flavor of the whole thing.
And then I'm going to serve some rice. Oops. Remember I said pickle?
Yes,
so I actually have some pickle from my cousin in Kakinada who made it. So
oh wow!
Thanks to her. Her name is Radha. We have some really good pickle here. I'm going to serve a little bit. There are mango pieces in there. And by the way, this mango is actually from
her garden,
family farm.
Oh,
so yeah.
Nice.
So there's the pickle. I'm not going to serve the pulusu in the rice as yet. That's why I have these katoris. So people can choose whatever their favorite vegetables are.
Right.
You know, put them all in here and then serve it on the side. And then always before you start the meal, take a little bit of ghee, put it all over the rice, and you're ready for a meal.
And in the end, we don't serve the
yogurt rice is always afterwards,
right?
Yeah. So just to show you, I mean, you can mix this in the rice, but like I said, you know, we like to start with the pachadi. So let me mix the pachadi first.
Of course, we use our hands.
Yeah.
There's a better energy when you use your fingertips.
Absolutely. Okay, so can I use my hand?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, let me put the spoon here.
And see, the way that's mixed,
yeah,
you get all the nice vibrations into the lovely food. It makes it healthier too.
True. Okay, so here is my gongur pachadi with rice. And I'm going to taste it. See how it is.
That's exactly how it's eaten. Why aren't you serving yourself? Shall I serve you a little bit?
So you can feel all the tastes. Actually, this gongur leaf I think is very fresh because it has a nice tartness to it.
Thank you once again, Anu, for joining me in our beautiful setting.
It's a lovely kitchen. Thank you for having us.
And
I
so much
hope many
of you. I love being here. Thank you.
Yes, and everybody, please do try. They are simple recipes, and it's always available. And if you have any queries, write to flavorfuleats@gmail.com. Always available on ActonTV.org and now on YouTube 24/7. So we meet again. Thanks again, Anu. From your host, Hamsha Naidu. Bye bye.